Hey guys, just finishing up our sap collection for the day. Wanted to make a little video here just to show you guys how much sap we got today. It's actually pretty amazing what these trees did overnight. They really didn't run yesterday because of the front that came through, and so I think it's the barometric pressure was off, so they didn't run that well. So these trees, everything in these buckets was from yesterday afternoon into this morning and all of this afternoon. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys. Show you guys what our buckets would look like. When I started, and you can see them all there. Collected every single one of them, and pretty much every single one was full today. There were a couple down in this corner that I ended up dumping. A couple of the buckets sit right up next to the tree, and that's my fault when I tapped. The hose is just too short, so they have to be close to the tree, and because of that, we actually get rainwater that runs off the bark. It gets down and sits on the top of the bucket lid, and then gets into the bucket and kind of gives it a yellow stain. And we have so much sap, and it's only Monday, we might as well dump that stuff. But so here's our traditional buckets. These are 2-gallon buckets, and this is what it looks like after one day. You can see, that is pretty much as full as it gets. If you wobble that, it drips out. And it's still going pretty good. So for those who are tapping, and I know the questions come up before, how many gallons of sap do you usually get per tap? And well, there you go. 2 gallons of sap in one day. They run like this every day. You get 14 gallons from this tree alone. And it's really not that big of a tree. So that was the last bucket. I said if I kept a Facebook Live video through the whole thing, it'd be about an hour long. It'd be pretty boring because all you'd see is me go bucket to bucket and up the hill. But we'll take this up to our barrels and then show you guys how much we got for the day. I said we had an amazing run today. So far this year, we've only had our trees tapped for 2.5, 3 weeks, and they're definitely outperforming themselves compared to last year. And our sugar content seems to be a little bit better this year. And it might have been because we had that wet early summer, and then it ended up going to dry. And it does something, boosts the sugar content for the following year. Here's our barrels. Put this down real quick and dump this bucket. So, as stated before, we have 64 taps out, and we had a really good run today. And this is what we ended up getting. 55 gallons. And that one's pretty much full also. It's over halfway, so we'll go maybe 25 gallons in here. So we got 80 gallons in one day off of 64 taps. And I probably dumped, I don't know, 10 10-15 gallons out just because of the rainwater that got in them. Yeah, I see a couple of you guys are commenting, and I'm not sure if my audio's that great. I know on Saturday when we had a couple live videos, the video played, but none of the sound worked, and we had a couple instructional videos that I ended up talking for really no reason because you can't hear what I had to say. But yeah, Bill, we have, I believe it's 64 taps out, and we do have a lot, 2 per tree. We have these drop lines that go into our 5-gallon buckets. 2 per tree. We have these traditional buckets that we only run 1 tap, and those are more for show. Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys can hear me all right today. I said I'm not sure what was up with it on Saturday. We're going to try again this Saturday to do a couple instructional videos on how we do our maple syruping. And I know everybody has different ways of doing it, and we're always looking for better ways, advice, tips, suggestions, anything like that. And if you guys have any questions, we'd be more than happy to answer them. But yeah, Jason, I mean, our trees, I mean, they have done amazing so far. I mean, there was at the end of last week we had 3 days that it didn't drop below freezing, and we had a couple trees that ran all 3 days, and we probably got 15 gallons per tree. I mean, it was amazing. And said our sugar content seems pretty decent, just with the collecting I did today. With unfrozen sap, my hands are kind of sticky. So yeah, I'm thinking we're not at 4% sugar content, but better than our 1.5 we had last year. So we cap these up. We had a pretty bad windstorm here last night, and I thought for sure our empty barrels were going to be blown down the hill when I checked them this afternoon. We got lucky. Oh, Jason, you're lucky with having some land with some maples. Yeah, this is one of mine and Ashley's favorite hobbies, and we would really like to at some point maybe even go to a larger scale, or I don't want to say commercial production, but actually, do it as a more intense hobby, if that makes any sense. Yeah, we really enjoy making maple syrup, and we live on 4 acres here, and on our 4 acres we probably have the potential of 100, maybe 150 taps. But if you run that many taps on the trees we have, it wouldn't be sustainable for the long run. Year after year, you'd have tap holes all over the base of the tree, and I'm not sure if that's the best way of doing it. So safely we could probably run 100 taps, and that would put me in the market for a nice 2x6 evaporator that could do 30 to 40 gallons per hour. And then Ashley and I could really start producing a nice quantity and better quality syrup. Not that anything's wrong with the syrup we produce now. It's just with the hobby setup and restaurant pans we use. It's it's a lot of work, a lot more work than what it should be, but it's a hobby, and we really enjoy it. But yeah, going back to your comment there, Jason, about having land. If we do happen to get into maple syrup production at a larger scale, we might actually consider buying, a couple acres that have, a good maple stand and tapping those trees. And I don't know, we'll see. I mean, we've only been making maple syrup for I think this might be our 5th season, and so we're still learning. Does it pay the bills? Unfortunately, no. I mean, we do sell our syrup, and we'll be selling some this year. But what it does is, when you guys buy the syrup, we put that money to paying for the equipment that we happen to purchase this, for this season, and then we'll put it to other things, things for the garden. I know, we have a couple people who have already requested a gallon of syrup, and you don't, when you sell a gallon of syrup, I mean, you see it in the stores for $50, but a couple people have said no, we'll pay pint prices, and they'll buy 8 pints, and so we'll end up selling it to them for a little over $100, but it's not like it's not like we're making money on our syrup production, but that money is going towards other things we do here. But Bill, that when you have 50 acres, you'd hope there's a little bit more of a sugar bush on your property, but we definitely have potential here on our 4 acres, and it used to, looking at the trees, this used to be a oak and ash dominant forest, but the emerald ash borer beetle has pretty much taken all our ash trees out, and there's oak scattered in, but a lot of the up and coming trees are maples. We have our decent maples, but we have little ones that in 10 years they'll be tappable. It maybe even sooner. I really haven't paid too much attention. I really don't know maple growth tendencies. But yeah, I'll say it over and over. We're going to try to do more of these videos and give you guys a little better idea of what we do day in and day out here at our little farmette, whatever you want to call it. Backyard farm, I guess. You got our garden. Yeah, Jason, I wish we could string our maples, and some of them are almost close enough to run a line. We do have a lot of squirrels down in here, though. I've read that squirrels wreak havoc on maple lines, but yeah, that's the ideal way to do it, where you have all your lines going into a 300-gallon tank, and then you either have that tank right at your sugar house. You put your sugar house at the bottom of the hill, and then you have all your lines go to that. That's ideal. Or you run it on a vacuum system. And I'm not sure where you're from, Jason, but you'll see that around this area up in Somerset, out in Ligonier. Just driving on it, I think it's Route 31. Just on that road, you look into the woods, you'll see the same kind of setup that they have up in Vermont. And it's pretty cool. I mean, that's a nice large scale maple syrup production. They know what they're doing. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this video, get inside. I have some stuff I need to get done there and go check the seeds. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, any comments, we always like your feedback, and we love answering questions. And if you don't want to comment, you can message us or whatever. But puppy's cold, so yeah, we'll end this video, and